Have you ever felt like you're right on the edge of speaking English fluently, but something's just not clicking? You've done the grammar drills, you've memorized tons of vocabulary, but what if I told you the key isn't in another textbook? What if it's in something you do literally all day, every single day? Your breathing. Today we're going to dive into how a simple, tiny change in the way you breathe can unlock the fluency you've been working so hard for. It's so frustrating, isn't it? You go to speak, and the words just kind of stumble out one by one, feeling all disjointed, and then you listen to native speakers, and it sounds like this impossible waterfall of sound. You know exactly what you want to say, but that smooth, easy flow just isn't there. And that's the real mystery, right? You've put in the hours, you have all the individual pieces of the puzzle, but when you try to put them together in a real conversation, it just feels like a struggle. Well, the answer, and this might really surprise you, could be in the very air you're using to make those words.
Okay, so let's get to the real root of the problem here. This isn't about how smart you are or how many hours you've studied. It's actually a physical, mechanical issue. Think of it as a kind of frequency mismatch.
So here's the core mechanical difference. In Korean, speech often starts on an exhaling breath. The air is already on its way out as you begin to talk. But in American English, it's often the opposite. Speech tends to be built on an inhaling breath. You take the air in first, and then you begin to speak. Now, of course, neither one is right or wrong. They're just different. But that one tiny difference has a huge impact on the rhythm and the flow of the language.
I love this way of thinking about it. Imagine you're trying to tune an old radio. You can kind of hear the song, but there's a ton of static and noise. Your vocabulary and grammar, that's the radio station you're trying to find. But your breathing, that's your receiver. And if that receiver isn't tuned to the right frequency, you're just never going to get a clear signal.
But here's the fantastic news. You can absolutely retune your receiver. And the way we're going to do it is with a technique called the inhalation breathing method. Now, it might sound all technical, but trust me, it is so simple. And it is a total game changer.
So what is this thing? Honestly, it's about as simple as it gets. You just breathe in deep, hold it for just a beat, and then you start talking as you let that air out nice and slow. That's it. That's the whole thing. It seems almost too easy to work, but the effect is absolutely incredible.
Let's break this down into 3 simple steps we can literally try right now. First, take a nice deep breath in. Really fill your lungs. Think of this as your fuel. Second, and this part is crucial, just pause. Hold that breath for about 1 second. This is where you prepare the engine. And finally, step 3, speak. Start your words with energy as you begin that long, slow, controlled exhale.
I really want to zero in on that second step. That tiny little pause, that moment you hold the breath, that's everything. It's not an empty moment. It's the moment you gather all the energy you just took in and get it ready to launch your words with power. It is the absolute key to this whole method.
And when you do start speaking, I want you to picture this. The air shouldn't all rush out at once. No, it should be a slow, steady, controlled release, just like the air slowly seeping out of a balloon. Your words are literally floating out on this nice, steady stream of air.
So, what actually happens when you start doing this consistently? Well, the changes to your own speaking are immediate, and they are seriously transformative.
The results really are immediate. All those frustrations we were just talking about, they start to fade away. That choppy word-by-word speaking, it just melts. Linking words together all of a sudden feels completely effortless because you're not fighting for breath anymore. And because of that, your pronunciation gets clearer, it sounds more natural, and your confidence, it just skyrockets. You're finally working with your body, not against it.
Let's look at a concrete example. Before, you might say a sentence like this. Do you know a good recipe? You hear that? Each word is its own separate effort. It sounds so disconnected. But now, let's try it with our new method. Take a breath, pause, and let it flow. Do you know a good recipe for whole wheat bread? See how that just glides? The entire sentence becomes one single, fluid thought, all powered by that one breath. It is a night and day difference.
And this is where it gets really cool. The magic does not stop with your own speaking. This method also completely changes how you hear English. It's time to unlock your listening ear. Okay, I want you to try a little visualization with me. The next time you're listening to a native speaker, don't think of them as throwing individual words at you. Instead, I want you to picture them blowing a series of soap bubbles, some big, some small. Each one of those bubbles is a natural phrase, a complete thought spoken on a single unit of breath.
When you start listening for these bubbles, instead of trying to catch every single word, your brain can finally relax. You stop trying to process every little a and the. Instead, you start hearing these meaningful chunks, these natural phrases. It's like you can finally see how all the puzzle pieces actually fit together, and understanding just becomes so much easier.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? I really want you to understand that this isn't just another tip or a trick to try out. No, it's so much deeper than that. Adopting this inhalation breathing method, it's like getting a brand new engine for your English. You are fundamentally retuning your entire system, your speaking and your listening, to finally sync up with the natural rhythm of the language itself. This is how you go from just knowing English words to actually feeling the music of the language.
And the best part? You can start right away. Find some short sentences, maybe from a movie or a monologue you like, and just practice those 3 steps. Inhale, hold, speak. Seriously, just 15 minutes a day can make a massive, massive difference.
So, I'll just leave you with this one last thought. It is pretty amazing when you think about it that changing something as basic and automatic as the way you breathe can completely revolutionize how you communicate in a whole new language. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If changing your breath can change your English, what else can it unlock?